Yes, guys, I'm so excited to announce that on the 22nd of August, we are going to be in Dublin in a place called the Bernard Shaw. We're going to be doing a fellas show there. Now, keep in mind, fellas show is very much just another word for a fellas piss up. We'll be having some fun stuff on stage that we're going to cook up, very similar to the Australia vibes, but we're going to make it Irish and we're going to make it fun. So we're going to put tickets on sale. They're going to be cheap. Don't worry, we're not rinsing anyone, because trust me, you're not going to want to pay that much money for this show, but we will be having a good time and we will be getting drunk. I'll put some money behind the bar. We'll have a good time. We're going to put the tickets on sale on this date on this screen right now. I think we're doing something like 200 tickets. It's only small. It's only supposed to be a bit of fun, and we hope to see you guys there. Very excited for this. Welcome back. It feels good. It actually feels nice not to have Chip here. And before you guys all start kicking off like, nah, the fellas have fallen off. This was a tactical decision, actually. Chip was just a bit nax on the pod, and there were a lot of comments saying that he brought zero value. So me and Proddy made the executive decision to remove him.
As the major shareholders.
As the major shareholders in the Fella Studios, we made that decision, didn't we?
A lot of he's been getting a lot of stick on the vlogs. Have you seen it?
No,
like
I
never
haven't.
being in work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my!
He's been getting pelters saying, "Is Chip actually ever at work?"
You know what? I will say the last 2 months, I think he's been here about 2 days. And in those 2 days, we filmed only podcasts and loaded.
This is the thing.
You want to talk about annual leave glitch? Like, you're looking at the GOAT of annual leave glitch. All right. But I've told him, like, now that he's had this little 3 weeks thing, like road trip for nothing as well. He didn't even do anything special on it.
Yeah. He went away for 3 weeks.
He's gone away for 3 weeks. What? Just for a little road trip? Could have at least made something decent out of it, or done something nice or special.
Yeah, I don't really know what there is to talk about this week, because nothing's really happened.
Yeah, I was hoping that there would be something of any importance to discuss, whether it be Chip, I don't know, like his girlfriend, or just anything related, but nothing happened. So we just got to move on, and we got to talk about the rest of the world, because believe it or not, the world does not begin and end at the fellas. So we've obviously had the Olympics. I actually purposely did not watch the closing ceremony because I fucking hated the opening one. Shout out to France, by the way. They put on a stinker of an Olympics.
That's such a bad take, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Like, look, I don't.
Sorry.
I'm the first France hater. I'm number one
France's biggest hater. I'm literally France's biggest hater.
You've got to give them credit. It was a banger.
That's not true. Mate, okay. Let me tell you some of the crazy stuff that happened on it. They had Olympic level athletes swimming in shit. Okay? All because of the arrogance of their political figures. Their mayor coming in and said early doors that one of their big statements was they were going to get the River Seine to a place where you could literally swim in it. There are tens of athletes out there shitting their minds out because they were forced to swim in dangerous E. coli level water.
So have a lot of athletes got ill then?
Very ill.
Okay, right.
Yeah, very ill.
Okay, infrastructure
because they're obsessed with this one statement, which they said they would have the River Seine clean enough to the point where they could do the open water swimming in there.
Just hold your hands up and say, we fucked up.
We fucked it.
We didn't get it right in time. Done.
We've got this lake round the corner. We'll just use that.
Yeah.
Come on.
That would have made it trickier with the running and cycle part, though. Obviously, they had both those courses mapped out, didn't they?
Did they not at one point think, let's maybe just have a backup in case there's still a load of crap in this river? So that's number one. Number two, it was the worst opening ceremony I've ever watched in my life.
Agreed.
Absolutely criminal. Number three, the closing ceremony, the only bit anybody cared about was when Tom Cruise jumped off of the stadium. You can't even name me another part of that closing ceremony. It was that nax.
But didn't he like land in LA, like pre-recorded?
Yeah. That's
quite sick, because that's next Olympic.
Nice little pre-recorded bit. Yeah, that's class. Other bits. To be fair, I'm not just going to say this in France, because I feel like every Olympics there is always a bit of controversy around like judging. There's some bits where medals have had to be like they were given an athlete was given a gold medal and then they had to take it away from him.
Really? I didn't see that.
But what I will say is human error. That happens.
That probably happens at every Olympics.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go in on that. The one thing I will say, and this sounds kind of weird, but the best bit about the France Olympics was actually the view you got if you were watching the equestrian events. I don't know if you saw it. It was down the most beautiful thing. And I'm sure it's some famous historic building that I'm too uncultured to know about, but it looked phenomenal. This right here. What is that called? The Palace of Versailles. Okay, that small place. Yeah, I should have known that. That's my bad. That's my bad. But how beautiful does that look?
Yeah, that's unreal.
That is genuine. That might be one of the best ever Olympic venues for something.
Would you sack off a question?
Huh?
If you were in charge?
Nah, man, let them have their fun. Who cares? Like, let them do the horse dancing shit. I think it's so strange. Actually, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna call somebody about this.
Okay.
I'm gonna call somebody right now.
Hello.
Yo,
How are you doing?
yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Just so you know, you are on the fellas right now, but I've decided you are the most, or the person that I believe the best to have this conversation with.
Right, go on, hit me.
There's a number of people that are petitioning that dressage needs to be removed from the Olympics.
Right.
Do you agree with that? Because it's just that horses prancing around and nobody's actually doing anything.
And it's probably got something to do with that Great British rider that literally like was whipping her horses, right?
Yeah, absolutely, that's disgusting. That's disgusting what they did to that horse.
Do you know what, right? Me and Ethan have spoke about horses on our podcast, and we got so much hate for it. Like the horse community is like nuts, right? Because they are so passionate.
So are you removing the horse dancing? Because let's be honest, the horse isn't getting the medal. For whatever reason, they never put it around the horse's neck. Why is that?
Do you know what? It is actually the rider, because if I got on the same horse, it wouldn't fucking do that. Do you know what I mean?
I promise you, I'm telling you right now, I jump on that horse and I make that thing dance.
No, you can't. There's absolutely no fucking way you can do that.
What is the rider even doing on the horse, like, to make it do that?
It's all in the legs, right? So you wouldn't even see, like, the person doing it. But trust me, they're doing it. It's so minimal. But if I got on that horse, it would not do that. And if you got on that horse, I don't even think you could make it walk.
That's such a lie. I swear to God, I'm making that thing crip walk across the fucking beach.
Not. Do you know what? I think it can stay. I think the sport can stay, but there needs to be more animal welfare checks just to make sure that, you know, they're doing it the right way.
Do you think that the lady was actually whipping her horse too much?
Listen, it's not a great video, don't get me wrong, but sometimes there needs to be context. I think it was about 4 years ago as well. So
yeah,
I think, like, sometimes when an animal isn't doing what you want, it can lead to a bit of frustration. But then at that point, because I'm not getting what I want, but some people will push through that, and that's not the right way to do it. So I think a bit of animal welfare.
All right.
In the Olympics.
So do you think we should keep this sport in the Olympics, or should we just sack it? Really?
No, I think we should do it, and I actually think you should buy your own horse and apply to do the Olympics as well. Do you apply? Because
I do actually think if there was one sport that I could qualify for the 2028 Olympics, it would be dressage.
Right. I don't think so.
Okay then. Right. Well, look, Faith, I want to say thank you so much for calling in. Look, I've got to cut you off here, but I appreciate your time.
She's just hung up on you, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the modern pentathlon, though? Have you heard about
modern
this?
pentathlon? What's that?
So essentially, it's a group of events, and let me see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 events: fencing, riding, swimming, fencing bonus round,
right,
and laser run.
Okay. First of all, they said they wanted to do 5 events, and then they put 2 of the same in there.
Yeah.
Why don't we,
I don't
why don't
know
we
the
call it
technicalities of
quadathlon?
that. But the point I'm saying is this event is designed almost to the kind of traditional standards of what like a soldier would do almost. So if you got it, like you need to be able to ride a horse, you know, back in the day. You also need to be able to shoot whilst you're running. So that's what this laser run is. You do a run and then you stop at 4 different checkpoints and shoot a laser gun at a target.
Cold.
Okay. And then obviously you've got the swimming element of it as well.
Yeah.
That's a natural element. But the thing with the riding, is you're assigned a random horse. So you don't even have your own horse. You get 20 minutes to practice with a random horse.
And
sometimes you might be winning the whole thing and you get this shit horse and you just lose.
Who won it? Is there a GOAT of this event?
Let me have a look.
Because I'd like to meet this person. I think what an incredible Ahmed
Egypt.
El Gendi. Okay. Oh, he's only the second non-European to win it. I love that.
But how do you even get into this?
You pay £1 actually to try the Telegraph.
Fuck me.
Nah, to get into this, what you do is you've tried your hand at all the other ones and you've gone, right, I'm just not good enough at any of those. But I've heard there is one, it's like the filter where you would go to. Or you're like me. What did they say? A jack of all trades, master of none. That's me. So I would think I would be quite good at this.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyways, I don't really know how we got into the dressage thing. Oh, we were just talking about the nice venue.
Yeah.
And what an interesting event that is. I think the British are quite good at horse shit.
Yeah, we are. But you actually, in the bonus pod, slandered our performance in the Olympics.
Yeah, we had a bad Olympics.
No, we did not.
Okay.
That was, the day after we recorded the podcast, and then medals started coming in, it was also classed as the best ever start to an Olympic Games ever from Team GB.
Okay, that's a great start. And do you know our athletics? Shout out to Katie Hodgkinson's.
Yeah,
because she's the only one that I saw ripping it up for us on the.
But we got so many medals.
There's only one color that I see, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're not competing against the USA.
And unfortunately, on the medal table, that's the only color they care about as well. Because the total number, by the way, the United States, 126 total medals.
That's crazy, yeah.
Give it a rest, all right?
Also, have you seen the size of their country? Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that is pretty filthy. We were 2 gold medals behind France. That in itself is enough for us just to head home. The Netherlands, they beat us. You know what? The Netherlands were very good at cycling, actually.
Netherlands beat us in the middle table on gold or on golds.
On golds. But we cooked them in total number of medals.
So yeah, we did well.
No.
Yes.
No, because they only care about golds at the Olympics. The other ones are obviously an incredible achievement, but in the medal table, they only care about golds. And that's how the order's done based on gold medals.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, though, United States and China both tied at the top 40-40. And I think the United States, then goal difference, except medal difference.
Do you get a prize for getting the most gold medals? Like, is there a winner of the Olympics?
I think there must be. Because then why the hell do we have a table?
Yeah.
There must be. Yeah, so I think the United States won the Olympics this year, which is called Simone Biles.
Is there a captain of the Olympic USA team?
I think it's just the people that hold the flag at the beginning.
So Tom Daley was ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So there's...
Did you know, fun fact, I used to live in the same building as Tom Daley.
Did you?
Right after the 2012 Olympics. In Stratford, there's that big, they referred to it as the Sidemen Tower. That he lived in there.
Did he?
And I used to see him.
Nice guy?
Never spoke to him, was too shy.
He should come on the pod.
Yeah, he would be good to have on the pod. There's a couple Olympians. I would like Adam Peaty to come on the pod.
Drop him a message.
I will drop him a message, actually. Noah Lyles, if you're watching this, I'll have you on the pod.
Go on, tell me about some of your highlights then, because obviously, there were some big things that happened, some cold moments.
Some cold moments? We got to talk about the pole vaulter.
Yeah, unreal.
Aura off the charts.
Crazy.
Here's a fun thing, and I didn't know this about the pole vaulter. His name's Mondo, by the way. Come on. Mondo is a first name.
Sick name.
Brilliant. Duplantis or something like that. I'm sure there's an accent part I'm missing. Anyways, really cool fact about this. He only ever beats his world record by a centimeter each time. And I was there like, why do this? If you're, and I don't know if you saw, but he beat his world record again at the Olympics, and he beat it comfortably. And I was looking at it like, right, okay, he's going to go again, and he's going to clear it by even more this time. But he didn't. And he just stayed, he just did it by 1 centimeter, because in a lot of these contracts, and a lot of the times as well, maybe the country, or I think he has a deal with Nike, whatever it is, they pay out bonuses based on Olympic records, world records, national records, things like that. So if he could just rock up every single meet that he goes to, or probably in like, it has to either be like world championships or Olympics. And if you can just rock up and just every time get a world record by 1 centimeter, his bank account is flying up. So
That's
this guy,
unbelievable
not
logic.
only does he just have an incredible aura about him, he's up here as well. He's thinking about, so he already knows next time he rocks up to one of these big events, he's going to do a world record again.
Yeah, that's sick.
And that's why people come. They always want to see world records, and he's just smashing it. And I was so confused watching it. And then someone explained that to me, and I was there like, yeah, unreal.
He clip farms himself as well. That's what I fucking love about him. Like, he knows what's going to get clips. Like, he knows what's going to get clicks about him and things like that. Like, when he won the gold and did his world record, he did the impression of the Turkish shooter.
Oh, did he?
Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Nah, bro, it was so sick.
No way.
Let me get it
That
up.
Turkish shooter was another mega highlight for me on this on this thing. And I was just gutted because he got silver. I think I would have loved if he got gold, but I mean, it's still that's pure class.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he is a by the way, somebody on the Turkish shooter took Jose Mourinho's face and put it on it. It looks perfect.
That is so true. I thought he looked like him.
It looks like Jose Mourinho a little bit. And then the moment they put his face on top, oh my God, man, it was identical. But yeah, that pole vaulter's aura was pretty nuts. And then there was an engagement as well. I think a couple of engagements, actually. They're the only ones in recent memory that I'm aware of are the Olympic ones.
There was engagements at the Olympics.
Two,
so
I
after
think.
they won, sort of thing.
That was the thing. Now, look, making it to the Olympics is an incredible achievement. You're already in the top 0.001% of your sport.
Yeah.
If you don't medal, are you dropping down on one knee? Be truthful.
If I win a medal.
If you don't win a medal.
Sack it. Like, you got to sack that off.
But you're still proposing at the Olympics. What incredible achievement.
I don't know, man.
I just think...
Depends if you were hyped to win the event. If you were hyped to do well and you're like, right, this guy's guaranteed a medal, and you fuck it and you come like 10th and you then propose, I don't know. I think you got a bigger fish to fry. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look, put it this way. I never have to worry about that because I'll never be talented enough to be in the Olympics. Unless they did Olympic of podcast waffling. I think.
But I've got a thing to show you. Have you heard about Eric the Eel? Please tell me you've seen Eric the Eel.
Why this annoys me. I've got some. Okay, let's talk about Eric the fucking eel.
Eric
and then
the
I want to
Eel
say my piece.
It's one of the greatest Olympic stories of all time. Okay,
Shut up.
He's a man from Equatorial Guinea, and in the 2000 Olympics, he competed for them as a swimmer. They held open tryouts in his country to become part of the swimming team at the Olympics. He was the only person that showed up, so automatically got onto the swim team. But the problem is, in the country, they had no swimming pools for him to practice in. They only had a 15-meter pool in some random hotel. So he'd go there like twice a week, practice. He then got to obviously doing the thing. Two of his opponents got disqualified, so he was racing on his own. And so, he did the full race. No, he did the heat, and that was it.
Did he qualify for the Olympics or not?
He went to the Olympics, bro.
Oh, he did?
So he was part of the wild card draw, which was encouraged to develop facilities in underdeveloped countries. So, for example, let's say in that country in Africa, they didn't have a swim team represented. So they thought, right, we'll put some funding in. You can potentially have a wild card place at the next Olympics if you put a team together. But he was the only person that took part. Right. And then just watch this. So this is the...
Eric the Eel.
So this was Eric racing on his own.
Yeah.
So he looks all right here.
Yeah, he's doing all right, mad.
He can even tumble turn. Goes into the rope slightly.
fuck it, man. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, like obviously that is. Is he gonna make it? Yeah, he did make it. Okay, cool. I thought for a second he might not make it. Shout out to Eric the Eel, bro, because at the end of the day, he's actually raced at the Olympics, and I just think that is the greatest thing ever. Like, he got the full Olympic experience. Yeah. And another thing about just even going to the Olympics, and the Americans are talking about this, and there's loads of TikToks going around, because healthcare in America obviously isn't free and comes at an absolute bomb. They've been taking advantage of, you can book like free doctor's appointments, and you can get loads of stuff done for free if you're an Olympian in the Olympic Village, because they have a whole medical suite tent there. So Americans have just been booking in smear tests, everything, like loads of tests, and they're just getting it all done, all for free. A woman had her eyes checked, eyes
That's
done.
Class. That's
like
brilliant. Absolutely
everything. How class is that? And obviously, it's just the Americans using TikTok, but I would imagine there's probably some underfunded funded countries that are there that are hopefully also taking advantage of that. How unbelievable is that?
Yeah, that's quality.
But isn't it also so fucked that a country as big as America is, their top 0.001% athletes still have to use the free healthcare at the Olympic Games, for example? Is that not just an awful look for the US?
It's not great, but I feel like it's the same for every country, though. Like, if you look at the way I took this whole Olympics thing, is I was watching the people that got the headline moments, and they got the clips, they got that social kind of traction. They're all the people with the big characters. It's essentially like selling a boxing fight, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, the people that then make the biggest careers of themselves, like the likes of Noah Lyles, are the ones that are able to kind of manufacture themselves into the right places, make the right noise around their events. If you're just a good athlete, and you're probably going to win silver or gold, but you're just a bit boring, or you're just a bit shit, like, it's not gonna work out for you in the long run. Like, look at Bradley
that's so
Wiggins
interesting.
now.
Did you see? Her name is Iona. Now, she is probably the biggest star to come out of the Olympics, right? And she was part of America's women's rugby team. And I'm not joking. If you go and check out her TikTok, here you go, Iona Mayer, right? If you go on her TikTok, every video is pushing almost 1 million likes.
What?
Insane. Type in her her TikTok. If you type in Iona Mayer TikTok, and she's great. Like, she is absolutely hilarious, and she is almost everything I feel the Olympics should be about. She rocks up there. She's not in a very popular sport, certainly in America, and well, to be fair, globally, like, women's rugby just isn't quite there yet, and she is banging on there. The views are through the roof. Yeah. Like, look at that, 10 mil, 5 mil, 7 mil, 7 mil, 6 mil.
That's crazy.
And obviously it's going to die down a little bit after the Olympics, because that was her thing. But at the same time, you want to talk about making a name for yourself. I think they did quite well I don't think they won, but I think they got a silver.
They got a medal, silver, yeah.
Yeah, silver. And
bronze or silver?
Like, she's going to come out of this, brands are going to be absolutely all over her.
Is she funny as well?
Yeah. No, she's funny. She like I said, she is very just unapologetically her. Yeah. And I think it's just come across really well. People have really warmed to her. And now, certainly on TikTok, like, a lot of people have seen her name. So shout out to her.
Just before we went into that, I mentioned about Bradley Wiggins. Just want to say, that is incredibly sad what's happened to him.
Wait, why? What's
heard
happened
about this? He's apparently now living in a caravan, and he's like bankrupt. You know, he's like one of our most successful Olympians of all time.
Oh yeah, there you go. One day ago, there was a new article right there. I should have paid more attention to my financial affairs. Bradley Wiggins opens up about bankruptcy. Was it any addiction or anything like that?
No, I don't believe so.
What? So he was just living outside of his means, and then it just went to zero.
Yeah, here you go. This is
which is pay attention when I was racing, which is one of the things that happens to athletes. You know, you make a lot of money, and if you haven't got your eyes on it, people take advantage. Okay. That his liquidated company owed nearly 1 million to creditors. He is understood to have failed his IVA in January this year. Damn. Yeah. This is a big thing, and you know what? You'll actually see. You've used Bradley Wiggins there as an example, but you're going to see more and more influencers and people on the internet suffer a very similar fate. People that get rich really quickly. And, you know, I can't believe I'm going from Bradley Wiggins to fucking Bevo here. But like even Bevo has come out, and I don't know how truthful it is, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's come out and he's said like financially blew most of his cash.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very easy to make a lot of money very quickly in a short space of time. I mean, Bradley Wiggins was maybe a bit longer period of time, but if you don't have the long-term plan in place, it's going to run out really quickly. And footballers as well. I mean, how many times do we see articles every single year? This footballer's gone broke. This footballer's having to sell their World Cup winning top in, you know, all of this sort of stuff. Because one, they don't have a plan set up for after. And don't get me wrong, you're really going to struggle to find something that is going to set you up earning 5-10 million quid in retirement every single year. Like, you're not going to get your footballer money. That's fine. But if you're smart with the money that you earn throughout your career, not only can you invest it correctly, and I think people are starting to wake up a little bit more to how to invest their money. I mean, me as well. I'm still, you know, learning about it a lot. And only in the last recent years have I actually been like, oh, I should be putting my money into the S&P. I should be getting annual returns. And the thing is, you know, you might only be making a 4, 6, 8, and maybe a 10% return a year. And that doesn't sound very exciting because the idea of, hey, man, like, I want to be rich quickly. That is a lot more appealing. And for young people, it almost feels like a necessity because they don't understand that there is actually a really good long game that you can play here. You can gamble for the short-term game, but, you know, so few people make it that having a long-term plan is absolutely key.
I think a lot of people look at like social media and they'll see people having like a nice life and who maybe will have like a similar amount of followers to them or something along those lines, and see this person living out of their means and feel like they need to match it. So then there's kind of this constant vicious cycle of like, I'm trying to catch up to that person, but then that person's trying to catch up to someone else, and people who are like way below, let's say, the follower count or the amount of money that they've got coming in, trying to live to the means of someone who's maybe making 5 times the amount of money that they are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've got constantly people trying to chase that high almost.
Definitely. And it's people not understanding that there is so much value in looking at the 10, 15 year timescale rather than the 6 month timescale. Don't get me wrong, I always have ambitious goals in the short term. And by short term, I mean like sort of 6 months a year. But at the same time, be smart with your money, reinvest it into yourself and your business and stuff. And that might genuinely be going on nice holidays, taking good photos, investing in nice clothes to wear for the photos. Like, don't get me wrong, that's all fine, but make sure you're actually being smart with it and you're not there like, I need this $1.5 Louis Vuitton jacket because that's going to get me loads of likes on TikTok. It's like, not quite. Like, you'll look good for an Instagram photo, but what is actually your return on investment with this £1,500 pound jacket? So a lot of the time, and I think over the next 3 to 5 years, and with how quickly people are getting big on TikTok and how much fast money they're making, I think you're going to see a lot more of these stories. Just because I don't even know now. Like, I think I'm pretty confident in saying, maybe yourself, Proddy, as well, and a lot of the people our age, like, financial advice isn't really readily available. And if it is, it's just kind of there and there's no real path to actually getting involved in it. So look, I've got a bunch of money just sat in a bank account, and to me, that's just financial safety. And that's just me being precautious. I like having a big number of money in my bank account because I just know it's going to be there.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's losing me money. So you got £1 million, and every year inflation goes up by whatever it goes up by, you're losing, I don't know, let's just call it 5%, right? That would be pretty wild, but let's just call it 5% for the sake of the math here. That means that you would lose £50,000 a year by just keeping the £1 million in your bank account. You've lost 50 grand, which sounds insane, but that's what it is. And like, look, that is a very, I've taken like loads of nuances there just to make like a simple fact that if you're just keeping loads of cash, it can be a big problem. And people always say, look, cash is king, and it's right. You should always have money there that you know that you can access quickly, so that if anything does go tits up, you lose your job, whatever it is, that you have access to it quickly. But at the same time, you have to find some sort of investment vehicle for your money. Otherwise, it's going to sit there, it's going to do nothing. And trust me, you're speaking to a guy that had done that for so long. And I look back now, and the way that interest works and being able to compound that interest. I mean, we even recently had in the fellow studio somebody come in to talk about pensions. And, you know, we're looking at guys that
was mad interesting.
19.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, why the fuck do I give a shit about a pension?
I'd rather that 100 quid.
I'd rather that 100
month extra.
Yeah. And you know what? That's completely fine, but just be aware of the fact that if you start a pension young, and I'm not going to go into it now because this isn't some sort of business podcast, but you should be YouTubing what compounding interest does and how much of a difference. If you even start 1 or 2 years earlier, the difference it's going to make, not only, you know, this is in the context of pensions, but also if you put an investment in early, there's so much more. And yes, it's kind of lame right now, but if you have that 10-year, 15-year plan, just know that when you're 40, 35, I mean, it might seem so far away, but you're going to be fucking good. And that's what matters, because all these stories that come out about people getting broke is probably when they get around to like the 35, 4-year mark, and they decisions. Go, I'm trying to live a life that I just can't live. Yeah. So
the thing that you told me after that pension meeting that was nuts, you were saying that you can use your pension to buy a commercial property and then rent it back to yourself, almost not rent it back to yourself. The rent that someone pays to you goes straight into your pension. So you're essentially using the money that's there and not doubling it, but like just adding a bit more to it.
Yeah, and again, it does go into your pension, and you won't be able to touch that without, you know, being like liable for tax until certain ages. But that is one way that you can do it. I don't know how long these sort of like tax breaks and loopholes will actually be around, but there's loads of stuff like that, but you're never going to know about it. I didn't know that you could buy commercial property with a pension unless somebody comes to you, and it sounds so boring, but it's so important just to be aware of this stuff. And this is also, you know, you always hear about like rich people, asset-backed loans, all this stuff. It sounds so like, oh, what the hell is all this stuff? But this is how the really rich people, or not even the really rich people, but just well-off people, they minimize their tax bill, and they will pay somebody £1,500 an hour, right, just to go and figure it out for them, because they know they're going to save so much money by reducing their tax bill. And there's loads of different ways that you can do it, but see, when people are there like, oh, they're going to raise taxes, and people be thinking, oh, finally the rich are getting done by the taxes. So they're like, no,
they'll just find another way.
Mate. There's another way. They get around it. It only fucks the people that work their ass off for their money. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know how we even ended up down here going down.
That is a lesson on how the rich get richer by Calfreezy.
Right. But yeah. Anyways,
right, I've got a 4-year plan to explain to you.
A 4-year plan?
I have a 4-year plan, Cal.
Oh, you have a 4-year plan?
Yeah.
Tell me your 4-year plan.
I'm going to be at the Olympic Games in LA in 2028.
And tell me how you're going to make it.
So, you know how I'm Bermudian?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to represent Bermuda in a sport that they have no one representing them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we do dressage?
I don't want to ride a horse.
Okay.
So I want us to decide what sport I should go for. Because I feel like anything that's slightly endurance-based, things like that, I still have this toxic trait that I believe that I could represent Bermuda in a triathlon in 4 years' time if I started training mad tomorrow.
No. I think there's a lot of, like, I would say that's probably the one area where Bermuda, like track and field, I know that a triathlon
they have a female triathlete.
Do they not have a very strong track and field?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, I feel like if I dedicated my life to it for the next
4 years,
3 years, because that final year you got to qualify. I'm going to get cooked for this.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's all well and good that, you know, you go to Bermuda, but you still have to qualify.
Yeah, I still have to qualify.
And so you're still going up against the best of the best from the rest of the world.
It's not possible, is it?
Not in a triathlon.
No, it's not possible.
Let me tell you what I could do.
Go on.
See Broski.
No, disagree.
Pulling up the rifle. Actually, you know what? Let me tell you, I got the shakes. Watch this. Look at my finger.
Yeah.
Can you see that? I got the shakes.
Have you seen how small the targets are?
I didn't realize this.
Crazy.
Someone on Twitter posted the actual target. Mate, it's like this big. It's like that big.
Yeah.
Oh, now someone's going to Photoshop that. Fuck. Yeah, anyways, the
Right,
target.
Can I just say? I think the triathlon was a stupid thing to say, but
the instant regret already.
no, because I feel that's actually that's low key disrespectful to triathletes. Some fucking little built like a
dweeb on a microphone,
bloke built like a fucking bag of milk, like saying that he can make the Olympics in 4 years' time. I still believe I could get to the Olympics for something for Bermuda.
No, I don't know if you could get to the Olympics though. There's a really great story about a skier, and what she did was she realized, right, and what she wanted to make it to the Olympics through skiing on a half pipe. And what she did was she realized there was actually a bit of a loophole, right? So obviously in a half pipe, a lot of skiers are going up, twisting, turning, twerking, whatever they're doing. But a lot of them fall and ruin their score, right? And they don't qualify because
they fall.
So what she did was she just skied up, down, the lamest run ever. She barely gets any air on it. She just goes up and down. But the whole point was all she needed to do to qualify to make it to the Olympics was not fall.
Shit.
Right? And so she goes up, and don't get me, she's a better skier than me, but she doesn't do anything. She just does this, and she did a whole thing about how she finessed the system, and she qualified for the Olympics. And it was class.
So
and if you watch the run, it's really funny.
So you're telling me, though, just going back to this, if I was to sack off this job, and dedicate my absolute everything, money is not an issue.
Yeah.
I'm training 10 hours a day, every day of the week, but obviously rest days included and things like that. You don't think that I could get to some sort of endurance event in 4 years' time?
I don't think you come in the top 1,000.
Top 1,000. Yeah, I think you're probably right still. But there is a bit of luck that I
might even say top 20,000 prod.
Really?
If you dedicated your life to it for the next 4 years.
I'm a decent swimmer.
And you went to, let's just go, you're a decent swimmer.
No, I was decent at school, I think.
Prod, 4 years, and it's not even the Olympics. Let's just say you go to the World Triathlon event.
No, I think triathlon's mental because the actual
okay, so
ability.
What is it you want to try then?
This is what I'm saying. I want us to work it out because I've got an opportunity here. Yeah, we could follow the journey.
I think it's got to be dressage, bro. That's what I'm doing.
Why dressage?
That's what, because look,
I'm not buying a horse, mate.
You don't need to buy the horse. You just rent the horse.
I'm not doing that.
You get a low interest
BMX.
rate on the horse. BMX? Are you out of your fucking mind?
I'll just use that woman's tactic. Just don't fall.
Oh my God, let's talk about Raygun.
What?
Raygun. Nah, what nobody knows about Raygun in here.
As in, the thing from the little mystery boxes.
Raygun.
Is he a BMXer?
Raygun.
Yeah, you're not helping me.
No, why have you put BMX? I didn't say that.
We were talking about BMX.
Raygun.
Oh, yes.
The worst breakdance I've ever witnessed in my life.
You're telling me that I can represent Bermuda doing this?
No, because listen, by the way.
No. Fuck you. No, I would get to the Olympics for this shit sport.
No, you wouldn't, because this is the last time the Olympics will ever let something like this happen.
Nah, the memes from it, bro. They'll keep it in for the clicks.
No. This, by the way, we have to be very careful about what we say about Raygun. Okay, because
Aussies.
The Aussies were offended. First of all, she took a genuine Australian breakdancer's place to go here, by the way, which is actually pretty messed up. But she has a PhD in cultural studies or something like this, and I know for a fact this whole show is for a study that she's going to be putting out, and it's all to do with feminism and all this sort of stuff. So I don't want my podcast clip in her study.
Rewind. So this woman is doing a study about feminism.
It's something like that.
You think she's gone to the Olympics because she wants to prove how people were being rude about her?
That's not. By the way, that is not a theory.
That is crazy.
This is confirmed. But it's not a study about feminism. It's a study about like cultural thing, like something. But she's very big on the feminist.
Nah, she looks like someone out of a movie like Grown Ups or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
It was, mate. It was so bad, and the an official Australian representative for the part of their Olympics committee or something like that came out and said like, the reason why she's there is because she's the best that we have. And I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. And all the Australians that I've seen said they don't believe that either.
The Australians they're full of creatives. There's no way that there's not a better breakdancer than her.
There's so many talented people in Australia. They came like third in the medal table or something.
No. So tell me this, yeah? Right, back onto the whole representing a smaller
Riddle
country.
me this.
Yeah, right. How, if Bermuda, let's say, have no breakdancers going to the Olympics, surely if I prove to them that I've got a bit about me, that I could do it to a certain level, I would get into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could go, but then you'd have to qualify for the Olympics. Bermuda
so how is she qualified then if she's so shit? I'll be better dancing than her.
There's got to be a loophole.
I'm in the study now, aren't I?
Yeah, you're in the study. Yeah, you're in the study. That's what I'm saying. We have to be very careful.
Baby Reindeer Part 2.
Yeah. She's onto you.
No, on a serious note though, like I would back myself at this, I think.
You know, breakdancing is so difficult. I'm not saying like what she did was difficult, but if you actually see the other comparisons,
breakdancing is difficult.
Yeah,
what she did was not difficult.
I would agree with that. She was squirming around on the floor like it was like going crazy, man.
All right, with this in mind then, Cal.
All right.
What's the one Olympic sport? Well, you can say a few. Okay, so what would you remove from the current roster and what would you replace them with?
I'd get rid of football.
I agree.
I'd get rid of football because nobody takes it seriously. Mm-hmm. It feels like a waste of time for the footballers involved. And that might be quite harsh because...
But you're not wrong.
But I do just feel like it's so low down on the priority list for countries that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch a single game. And it just didn't excite me. I didn't even know the games were going on. And to be honest with you, I quite like the fact that the Olympics is here showing off the sports that in the real world, I'm never tuning into, bro. I was screaming at my telly watching a man do breaststroke.
So true.
I'm never doing that at any other time in the year.
The way to gauge...
Let the sports that don't have... the thing shine. It just feels like a bit of a waste. And if the money from that football, because I can't imagine the football is bringing in that much money. I could be wrong, but putting that resource elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a TikTok by that Owen lad, and he was essentially saying what he'd take out of the Olympics and replace it with. And he made a very good point. The Olympics should be the pinnacle of that sport. Yeah. But football, the Olympics is not the pinnacle of the sport. You got the World Cup, you got the Euros, Champions League, Premier League, whatever. Swimming, pinnacle. Running, pinnacle. All of that. It all ticks that box. It needs to tick that box to count as an Olympic sport, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be like the greatest event. It's where the cream of the crop. This is where, if you are an Olympic champion for the next 4 years, nobody chats to you.
Yeah.
Nobody chats to you. One thing I would say that really surprised me, and this is I would actually agree that this might tick the box now, is the basketball. Because in terms of like national games, like we saw how serious the Americans took it this year. They brought the big guns.
Did they have LeBron and Steph Curry?
Yeah, Steph Curry. No, they had their top guys, and they had some close games. France game was close. The Serbia game was close.
Yeah.
And so And I, in terms of international tournaments, I think, well, at least for me, and there might be some basketball people that disagree with me here, but in terms of international tournaments, that was fucking hype. I was there. I was watching them. They were really good. And also you could see by how much the USA really cared about winning this, which is strange because in the past, it was very much just a neglected tournament for them. They would sometimes just send whoever would be willing to go. They had this big thing called the Redeem Team, back in the 2000s where I believe they got bronze or I forget. I watched an entire documentary about this, but they performed very poorly. And so then they built this Redeem team, and it was all the big guns came over and they started taking it seriously. But yeah, I feel like basketball was an incredible sport to have here because they don't really have like their World Cup the way football has the World Cup. They don't really have that for basketball, or if they do, there's no way near as much attention as there is. I believe Germany are actually the world champions. That's what I read. But the Olympics had way more attention on it. And for me, as somebody that doesn't watch basketball on a national level or really on any level, the Olympics seem to be the tippity top. So basketball, I'm a big fan of. And then, did you see the beef between Noah Lyles, the American 100-meter sprinter, and the basketball team? Do you know about it?
Yeah, because he said that they're world champions. When in the NBA, he said they're world champions, but it's like, you're not champions of the world, you're champions of America.
Right. And like, by the way, what Noah Lyles said was
spot on.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And only Americans have the audacity or are just not able to comprehend what they said. That's like Man City winning the Premier League and then saying, we're the world champs. No, you're not the world champions. You've got fucking Real Madrid and all sorts out there. Now, even though, right, and this is with the NBA, even though there is a 90% chance or higher that, yeah, you probably are the best team in the world, right? But there were not other teams in the world competing in that tournament. So you can't say that you are a world champion. And then their big thing was, yeah, but we get all the best players from around the world to come and play here. That doesn't matter. That's not the question. That is not what the accolade is about. So, and even more so was them now calling themselves world champions on an international stage. Two very different things. You know, one's like club level and one's international. So them winning the Olympics and calling themselves world champions, that's fine. Like, to me, I know they have the world championship, but at least for me, the Olympics seems to be the pinnacle in these international tournaments. So that's fine. Call yourself the world champions if you want, but you came very close to a France. You came very close to Serbia. Like, yeah, you guys are, America has by far the most talent, probably the most competitive league, the best league. But by winning that, you can't call yourself the world champions. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So Noah Lyles was right. Anyways, Noah Lyles then runs this 100 meter, gets gold by the skin of his teeth, 5,000th of a second. Sick. He goes and wins that. And then NBA, then the American team go out, win their gold. And then Noah Lyles runs the 200, comes third, supposedly has COVID, probably did have COVID, whatever. And then now all the basketball fans are there like, debate over Noah Lyles L. Like this. And they're like, I'm not too sure if you guys are aware. He is the fastest man on the planet. Yeah. He won the 100 meters. He's the fastest man on the planet. He has a gold medal and a bronze medal. He has two. He came away from this with 2 medals. And just the disrespect on Noah Lyles' name was just doing my head in.
Have you watched that sprint thing yet on Netflix?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Nah, it's good. Like Noah Lyles he's a very unique character. Like, he's definitely... Yeah, I don't want to make any comments, but he's definitely like a unique individual. And like he seems fucking sick. I do really like him, but he's the sort of guy that you can tell when he's training, he's like in his own space. He's doing his own thing. He looks like he's putting on the show all the time, but I think that's just him.
Yeah, I think you have to have that a little bit to get to the top. Like even Usain Bolt. Now he wasn't necessarily I don't remember. He doesn't. Maybe it's a nostalgia merchant thing, but I don't remember him being like super arrogant or anything like that. But he was certainly a showman, and he put on a show, and that's very similar to Noah Lyles. I don't know if you see like the walkouts that they do. Like he's running up and down, jumping, like getting fucking hype for it, and that's very similar in that sense. But I mean, you know what's just crazy to me is that Bolt world record. They ain't even close.
No one's touching it,
bro. They're not even. It's not even like That was almost the world record. No, they're so far from it. Wow. It's insane. It's just insane.
I pose you the question then, Cal. If we were to have a dirty Olympic Games, does that record get broken instantly?
Can we sanction this? Dirty Olympic Games. So you mean an Olympic Games where everybody can get roided to the gills, steroids.
But the usage should be regulated to a way that's not unhealthy because no, bro. You know the whole blood transfusion thing with the cyclists? Yeah. Like they were dying in their sleep because their heart rate was going so low and their blood was so thick. They just like sort of thought, well, I'm sacking this off and not work around the body.
All right. Okay. Just to save people from dying.
Yeah.
Let's cap everything has certain testosterone, but let's push the human body to see what the hell we can do. Because fine, let's make sure there's no, this isn't like world record, like you're not taking anyone's records away. These are very much asterisks games, bro. And also you'd have to get rid of the combat sports. So, because you'd kill people. Because like we saw it with Brock Lesnar. Yeah. All right. He came close a few times. Right. And so you'd have to get rid of, we'll get rid of the boxing. Fine. Put your hands up. No boxing.
I think we should just have track and field.
I just want to see the track and field.
Track and field roided up. Bit of cycling in there.
How fast do you reckon somebody runs the 100 meters?
8.7.
No way, bro. You're not taking off almost a second. I reckon it's like a 9.2, 9.3.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I need to see that. I need to see that. I need to see it. But did you know that they were actually looking at doing this? There is somebody that has got investment for a steroid games.
Yeah, but who competes?
This was a while back,
this is the thing, Cal. Like we're saying we want to see this like steroid games with the athletes that we know are top tier. Like imagine a Noah Lyles, roided up,
juiced up,
peds, and then he like can smash.
I reckon you could get like Tom, Dick, and Harry though.
I don't know if it would be as entertaining though, because it is almost like.
Mate, I'm sorry, but if they're running like a 9.3,
sure,
it's entertaining.
Yeah.
If they're breaking world records
and their form's just fucking wank, and they're running 9.3 seconds, that'd be nuts.
What other sports would be amazing? What if the horses could be on steroids?
Shit.
Think about how high they could jump. Think about how fast they can run.
Mate, imagine pole vault.
Pole vault, bro. They'd be at the stadium.
Yeah.
Doing.
How do you even get into pole vault? I was thinking this, like who, when they're young, just goes, nah. I'm going into pole vault.
Nah, pole vault. I think you get whacked into. My question: How do you realize
you're
good for speed walking? Right, mate. Because my thing is Well, how does this work? What, like one day in your mind, you've watched a shop and you've gone, fucking hell, that was quick. Like, how do you know that you're going to be good at speed walking?
I've just done a 3-minute kilometer going co-op.
There's no way I've just come from the station to this Tesco's in 2 minutes. Hold on. And next thing you know, you're buying speed walking kit.
You know they do a sub 25k.
I know. And at this point, are we calling it walking? Seriously.
Don't know, but you know when you did your half marathon, there was some Donny speed walking.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And they're moving just a bit.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see open water swimming, but on the other side of a lane is like a shark.
Yeah.
So it's like you get points within how close you are to the shark when you finish the distance. So you've got a great white shark in one lane and you in the other. Remember Michael Phelps tried to race one? Well, fake.
Whatever,
but, you got the shark in one lane, you in the other. You have to get to the 1 kilometer mark. Or maybe let's do 500 meters. Yeah, it's still quite a way. 500 meter mark, or should it be a sprint?
No, because you got to have it.
It should probably be a 100-meter swim.
No. You want it to be 500 meters because you need the watch time.
Yeah,
like it's way more exciting. You have the tension. Like realistically, the shark's going to grab you in 100
over
meters.
500 meters. You have the technical chance of a shark just sacking it off. So it's like it might not understand fully and then just sort of slow down.
Well, why don't we just transport that to track and field and get a cheetah?
Well, didn't Brian Habana, remember the rugby player, tried to race one?
Yeah.
So we've had Phelps with the shark and Brian Habana with the cheetah.
But what you could do is you say like, right, cheetah, you're doing the 400.
Yeah.
Noah, you're doing the 200. See you at the finish line.
Yeah. But I think, so if you have the shark racing versus you, and however close you get to the shark, by the end of the 500 meters is your points, and it's done on points. The same way diving is and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're almost scored based upon the distance.
On the distance. Yeah, I don't mind that. I quite like that. Or how about this? The shooting. You put a family member's head. Oh, fuck. And it's there like you've got to go around, but the closer you get to your family member, the more points you get.
Do you reckon it did start with the apple?
The apple?
Like, you know how like the Olympics is from the Greek times?
Yeah.
Do you reckon it started when they were like shooting apples off people's heads?
I'll be honest with you, Prod. See when the Olympics started, I'm not sure they had guns. All right, mate? Okay. I don't think shooting was in the Olympics back when it was just apples and eaves.
So they are adding squash for 2028, by the way.
I like that. But I'm happy for the squash.
I think that's a bit premature because I think squash, don't attack me here, is going to be killed out by paddle. There's still a place for it both, obviously, but I think the paddle popularity is going to push squash a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to see. I'd like to see paddle at the Olympics.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen paddle highlights, they're sick.
Yeah.
Like there's people outside of the box hitting it back in, and it's just the most epic rallies ever.
I think it will be at 2028.
Maybe if it gets
I think
big
it
enough,
will.
it'll be class. I'd love it. So yeah, I'd love for them to bring in paddle. Did you see the clip about the CrossFit?
Oh my
swimmer?
God, that is so awful.
Awful. People that don't know, and it was when you were talking about the triathlon thing.
Yeah.
CrossFit. I got to be a little bit careful with how I say this because I actually don't know the exact details, and I'm sure they'll all come out. But from what we've seen online, what happened was they're CrossFit, and they have like multiple different things going on at once, obviously. And the last event was the swim, which in itself, in my opinion, I mean, they must have a reason for doing that, but I can't imagine from a safety point of view why ever you would do a swim last.
Well, that's why it's first in the triathlon, isn't it?
Is it first the triathlon? You do an Ironman, you know, yeah. It's all first because it's the one where there's probably the most risk, and this guy is swimming back and you can see him drowning. He's very close to the finish line. Like he's not far from it, but his head is sort of bobbing up and it's terrifying. And a lot of people, they're like, why didn't he like shout for help or whatever? Keep in mind, at the end of these CrossFits, you are absolutely spent. Let's say even if his legs cramped up or his body, you know, your whole body cramps up on this swim, trying to keep yourself afloat is just so difficult. That's why it's so dangerous to have the swim at the end, is because of exhaustion. And you can just, and it's so horrible. You can just see him dying in the water. For some reason, I read that they only had like 2 lifeguards.
Yeah, they were on paddle boards, weren't they?
And it was...
He was called Lazar Dukic.
Yeah.
Lazar Dukic.
And, you know, we're talking about very fit, very healthy guys. And you just see him drowning there. And I was watching like swimmers go past, not that they necessarily even knew what was going on. They're so locked in, they're doing their own thing. It might have looked like, you know, he sort of just pulled up, but crazy to think somebody so close to the finish line can just drown. And they couldn't find his body for a little bit. Thankfully, they did find it, which was good. But
wait, how?
He was dead.
How? Okay, again, and be careful what I say here. How can someone drown in the water and just drop under the surface? But in that time that they drop under the surface, you're not thinking something looks wrong here. Let's get over to him quickly and grab him.
Yeah, I mean, you see him struggle for quite a bit on the surface.
But yeah, he struggles for ages and then he'll obviously go. So he's got to be struggling for a while before he disappears.
That's what they're saying. They didn't even see him. It's not like they looked at him, or at least I hope they didn't look at him and go, he'll be all right. Yeah. Oh. So we'll see.
Rest in peace to him. That's absolutely tragic.
Mate, hearing that, but I think that's, if anything, that is just a lesson. You cannot be having these swims at the end.
I mean, yeah.
That's just obscene.
They probably thought we'll do something different and put it.
Yeah, I don't know. But especially, you know, you're out in the sea, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in a pool, in a lake. Like that thing looked like, or I don't know. Either way, sad to see. Let's move on to What would you like to discuss, Prod? I've got a few things on my mind.
Okay. Well, there was a bit of an incident in the office that we work in last week.
Oh my gosh, yeah. WillNe, this one is for you, buddy. See that stupid little video that you did with James Marriott? Well, obviously we work in the same building, and you thought it was appropriate to take down the entire building's Wi-Fi. Right? And you're probably thinking, how's he done that? Well, he did a video called Buying Banned Amazon Items or something like that. And he gets this Wi-Fi jammer, presses a few buttons, and he just takes down the building's Wi-Fi. Right? Which is just obscene because we're always uploading, working on footage. I mean, God forbid, I don't know, there might have been somebody having, you know, £1 million investment round, or fuck knows, you know, guys in a job interview, maybe they're having the most important call of their life, and you've got fucking James Marriott and WillNe going, oh, I wonder if this button does anything. And then James goes, oh, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not pressing that. And Will goes, oh, okay, give me that here. Douche, 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 douche. And I remember that in the office, everyone's going, is anyone else's internet down? And we're all going, this bloody building, man. The internet's always so crap. Little did we know it was a second channel. Imagine we had one of the live streams going on, or man, heartbreaking. Anyways, we'll be suing you for damages, which I think will amount to a couple of quid. So take me out for lunch or a beer. That was a bad little stint. Another thing which was unfortunate as well, recently JJ dropped out of the Misfits card. I had known, he had mentioned that his hand was completely wrecked. And because I've been asking him, do you want to come play some golf? Do you want to play some golf? Do you want to play golf? And he's like, no, my hand. So he's had to pull out of his fight. 2v1, which I know people, you know, and this is, people were saying they weren't interested in that fight. And people don't really like the gimmick fights. I have to say, I like the gimmick fights. I like the weird ones. I like the tag team matches. I like all this stuff because that's where I feel as though this creator influencer boxing space belongs. It's not, you know, you can have those straight up 1v1 boxing fights where people are settling beef and stuff like that, but rarely do those come along where there's genuine meaning there, you know? So why not create, and some people call it a bit of a circus. I'm down to call it that. I think it's quite entertaining. I enjoy it. You still get the moments, you still get the clips. So
it's literally called Misfits as well, for being a misfit.
Yeah.
So
I don't necessarily understand the hate that Misfits get when they put on these like little silly ideas. I quite like them. I understand that everybody with the type of guy that JJ is, they like to just see him go 1 versus 1 against another big guy, but the pool of people to choose from just isn't there. There's not. Do you want to just see JJ go up against pro fighters? It's like, you can do, but I'm just not sure that has that much legs in it. Like, yeah, you can go and fight MMA fighters or all this, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not super keen to watch that either. I honestly don't know what the next step is. Obviously, he's got to rest up from his injury and get through that, and hopefully, because I think he said, you know, he tried to power through that injury and fight through it, but it just wrecked his hand even more. And that's just, I guess, the type of guy that he is. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what the next fucking thing is. Like, and has he actually like done long-term damage to his hand? Because
surely the only thing left really is the Jake Paul fight.
But that's what I mean. Like, come on, guys, we've spoken about this for so long. Jake Paul has even said, you know, they had an agreed weight at 185, and then a couple of fights has happened, and then they no longer agreed on that weight. And it's like, if that ever happens, fine. But really, the ship has kind of sailed. When that fight does happen, don't get me wrong, there will be hype for it. But it reminds me a little bit of just like the Tyson Fury AJ. We all wanted it at a certain moment. Do you remember when we were all just there dying for it?
Now it's probably going to happen and no one really gives a fuck.
And yeah, like it might happen now, and then it's kind of like, oh, well, both kind of aren't where they were at that time. It's not got that same aura or feel to it. And I feel like that's going to be a similar case with the Jake Paul JJ fight. Like, it will be successful, it will sell a lot, but it's not going to hit like it should have done back in the day. And I think they both know that as well. So now if that fight does ever happen, great. But other than that, there isn't necessarily anything out there. And I think it must be hard to really like G yourself up during these training camps where it's just, grueling long, when it's like, well, what really am I fighting for here? Like, what is the net win here? There's a bit of money, but let's be honest, Prime sorted him out. You're not fighting for money. Fighting for the love of boxing, maybe. I think he enjoys it. I don't think he's, a diehard for boxing. It's just tough. I think it's tough. And I think it's when you are boxing, you really have to have that level of motivation in order to be an entertaining fighter. So if you don't have that, I think that's quite difficult. We'll see. I don't know who he's going to fight next. If he fights next, we'll see. Is there anyone other than Jake Paul that you'd like to see?
I mean, we've got Danny Aaron's fighting Danny Simpson. You seen that?
The Danny Squared fight.
Crazy. Fucking Premier League winner is getting in the ring with Danny Aaron's.
Do we think that Danny Simpson might be struggling with the cash?
Well, yes, obviously.
But this is what I was saying, back to my finance little moment earlier. Is this another person that is now taking this opportunity now because needs the cash? Does Danny Simpson really want to be? But then, but to be fair, I would also say someone like Danny Aaron's also doesn't need to do this for the cash. I don't.
Danny's just always said that he's always wanted to have a boxing fight.
Yeah, it's true. I'm excited. By the way, I am quite excited for that fight. I would have liked to have seen Danny Aaron's go against like another influencer, just because I think that's a more entertaining thing for me. I don't know anything about Danny Simpson other than the fact.
Do you think Danny Aaron's wins comfortably?
I don't know, bro. I haven't seen a clip. Yeah. I can't tell you. I think Danny Aaron's will come out and be decent, but remember, everybody on their first fight is only so good.
Yeah, sure.
And it's quite easy to hype yourself up. You can look great on pads. On the fight night, you see a lot of people just sort of lose everything that they've trained and thought about. Some people do well, but yeah, most time people's first fight isn't the prettiest to watch, and they just kind of get it done. I'm looking forward to it though. It's August 31st in Dublin,
which is really annoying. Actually, yeah, we can mention it. We're going to Ireland.
Hey! Yeah, so we are going to Ireland and really excited about that. Sort of managed to sort it out very recently, which I'm happy about. And it's Ireland, me and Chip have wanted to do, and Proddy's actually been, we've kind of, with Ireland, we've spoken about it for so long. Yeah. We've said, we want to do it. And then we just said, right, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Book it. We've booked it. End of August.
Yeah, we're going the 22nd.
22nd, and we've actually managed to get a bit of a venue to put on. I'm going to put a quote unquote a show, because you always know fellas don't really do shows. We're just like hosting a night, and we're just going to have a bit of a laugh. Any Aussies out there, you'll know what I mean by that, because when we went over there, we do some funny shit on stage, but for the most part, you're just coming along to have a few drinks and have a good time with
Stanislav's even going to be there.
Stanley's going to be there. And so like if you don't want to see the fellas, that's fine, but at least be there for Stanley.
Exactly.
So what date is that on?
So that's on Thursday the 22nd in Dublin.
Thursday the 22nd in Dublin.
But we're going to put ticket details out. We filmed a little ticket announcement video. Perfect. Try and put that out as soon as possible. It could be out by the time this episode's out. It might not, but
we'll let you guys know.
All details will be on there. Also, as well, actually, a great little thing. If you're like a Dublin-based DJ and you've got a bit about you, hit us up. Yeah, because we're gonna do this. We're gonna, of course, we're doing I don't know if it's daily loaded vlogs, but we're certainly doing. Loaded vlogs. We're
doing a number of videos out there.
We're going to be making like a long form. Yeah, it is daily on Loaded, and then we're going to be posting it onto YouTube as well.
Yeah. So we'll get a few on YouTube, but Loaded obviously is where a lot of the content. So if you liked our Australia vlogs and stuff like that, then head on over to Loaded because that's where the party's going down. Another thing that we got a double whammy on announcement is the clubber that both me and Proddy are wearing, the 165th floor. These are only two things. We got so much stuff in the collection, and we'll announce those in the photos, and it looks unreal.
It was crispy.
We're absolutely buzzing with it. I'm genuinely telling you. In terms of quality, I don't believe anybody comes close to this.
I also think it's fair to say we did miss a little bit on the t-shirts last time. I personally think, and I think these t-shirts.
Let me turn around here. Like, it is fucking class. This the whole drop.
Turn around towards the roaming cam.
Oh, sorry. There you go, mate. There you go. And we'll get proper photos and all that sort of stuff. Trust me, we're going to do like a proper announcement, but I just wanted to let you guys know on the podcast, because why not?
Yeah, quality is class.
Yeah, and you know what we'll do as well is because sometimes this stuff just sells out so quickly, we're going to put up like an early access link for Loaded members. So you guys can get on the site and make sure that you're getting an order in. But then, of course, we'll have the public sale as well. And yeah, really excited for that. Honestly, I mean, we're just wearing a couple of the t-shirts, but the hoodie, the tracksuit.
Chip actually had his one of his pieces on in his story that lots of people were screenshotting.
Yeah, was that with the FaZe Boys?
With the FaZe Boys,
yeah. I wore that exact set as well when I just came back from Mykonos. And mate, it's so comfy.
Is it?
It like you know, sometimes when you get like that material, like that towel-y material, sometimes it can feel really rough. There's like a lining on the inside, and it's so
nice,
so good. So, anyways, look, go check out the proper photos and all that stuff when that all gets released. You guys are going to be really happy with it because it is just. The quality is levels above anything we've ever done before.
Cal, before we leave, I want us to drop into a couple of conspiracy theories.
Oh, my favorites.
There's been a new one that surfaced. Yes. So obviously the tragic plane crash in Brazil.
Yes, that was crazy.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But there's been a theory about why it's gone down. Have you heard this?
I've heard this theory.
So there were 8 cancer specialists on board the plane that went down, and they were traveling to a sort of a conference for medical minds to meet. People are saying, do people want us not to find the cure for cancer?
Look, I saw this and I just sighed very heavily because if you think about it, on a lot of flights, a lot of international flights, there is probably a group of people that specialize in something heading to some work event. That's very normal, right? Your work event, sending people across to whatever else it is, maybe, the fellow studios, maybe not, but let's say, there was somebody from, a group of people that work at Amazon or whatever it's, and then all of a sudden you have a conspiracy because a group of people, or not even that, but maybe one senior person that worked at this. So no matter what, in any plane crash, when you have, and I believe it was about 60 people that tragically died.
So it's a small plane?
Small plane, yeah. But it was still making...
You've got like a seventh of the passengers are from going to this one thing, though.
That's fine, but those planes notoriously have been involved in crashes previously. They are crap planes. They're propeller planes.
Yeah.
They're pony. That should be enough of a reason as it is. I just think it's always a reach. And if you look at most flights, you could probably point to at least one person on there and go, that's why the plane went down.
Potentially, yeah. I think, as we say, there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, shut up, Prob. We're not doing this again.
But no, this has happened before, though. 100 people were on a flight, a Malaysian Airlines flight that got taken down over Ukraine.
Right.
And do you know what they were?
Let me guess. It was some important people.
So as many as 100 of the world's leading HIV/AIDS researchers and advocates may have been on the Malaysian Airlines flight that crashed in Ukraine. Is what's been described as devastating blow to the tackle of the virus.
That
100 people, bro.
So. Bro,
100 of the world's best minds in tackling AIDS.
It's just that.
So you think it's just coincidence,
I do. I really do. When we're talking about flights, there's just so many people on board that there's a good chance that there's probably 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people that you can point to and be there like, There you go. And a lot of these work trips happen. There's 100 of the world's leading HIV and AIDS researchers on that flight. It's tragic.
100's a lot, mate.
100's a lot, but I also don't know what conspiracy do we have here with HIV and AIDS.
I agree with that about the cancer specialist.
So why can't we apply the same logic to this?
I think 100's a bit dodgy.
But there's a lot of people on one flight. Like, it just is what it is.
What's on a big transatlantic flight? A 747. How many people are on those?
I'd imagine like 200, 250.
Okay, so just like 40% or so of the flight.
Yeah. Now, if it was it shot down?
Yes.
It was shot down, right? Okay, so it
This was shot down by the Russians.
They're busy, man. The Russians got a lot of shit going on. I don't think they're too bothered about an HIV.
Or
AIDS.
is that the problem? They are bothered.
What they got? Why are they asked about that? What have they got to deal with that?
I don't know, mate. Maybe they want to be the first people that finds the cure for AIDS.
That's very selfish.
Well, the world is selfish.
That's fair. All right, let's polish this podcast off. By the way, we did a heavy Olympics one, but I feel like it was a good chat, actually. Maybe things are better without Chip. Pre-season, we're obviously going into it. There won't be another episode till the first set of games have happened.
Yeah,
I am going to give you top 4. And I'm not going to do relegation sides because I just can't be fucked. Yeah, do you see Everton might be getting another 6 points deducted?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they breached by 6.5 mil. And while you sit there as a Chelsea fan, you are giggling away like the little cuck that you are.
No, I'm sorry. It's basic maths, mate.
You Everton failed at basic maths.
We've sold 2 players this summer for 100% profit to academy people. So
who?
Maitson and Gallagher.
Gallagher's not gone yet.
Gallagher might be off. It might be cancelled.
Gallagher
actually
might be done because of your voice.
Well,
See what I'm saying?
If he is a hindering factor on the FPL stuff, FPL on the
PSR stuff.
Yeah, it's he'll be gone.
He will be gone. Yeah. Right. Cool. Top 4. We will go with Pep winning the league. Boring. Will we see Arsenal's downfall this season? I'm not sure.
Nah, I think they'll come second again.
Really?
Yeah. Pep's final season, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it is Pep's final season. All right. Well, we can go. All right, we'll do top 6 because otherwise it's just a bit boring. We'll go Arsenal. Then we'll go with 3rd. Now, as a Liverpool fan, it's going to hit me to say that I don't think we'll get 3rd. Slot ball in preseason has been absolutely class, but it would be an amazing achievement if he managed to get or be in and amongst the top 3. I just don't think it's possible. I could be totally wrong and he could be unbelievable. I just think first season coming in, new squad, tough ask. I think he'll get 4th. Who gets that 3rd place spot? It might but then I think Spurs, by the way, Solanke, great signing, but unfortunately for Spurs, it's Spurs.
It's the history. I think,
by the way, here, I had an argument with the group chat the other day. Hear me out. If you make a combined 11 of Arsenal and Spurs, you're almost at 50-50 for the players, by the way.
I don't know if that's the correct thing to say.
Allow me to
Arsenal's defence trump them.
Arsenal's defence is very strong. I'm probably taking... but I'm taking their keeper, Vicario.
Over Raya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking Vicario. I'm taking Porro.
Over Ben White?
No, I'm having Ben White, but he can go on the left.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Then I'll take their 2 thing is, I would go Saliba, but I think Gabriel, I obviously had a great season last season. No, I'll have Gabriel. So we've gone for two Spurs at the back.
Gabriel's a little bit on fraud watch me, I can't lie. Two
Spurs at the back, and we'll go 3 Arsenal. I'll admit I've got a bit of a wonky left back, but I think Ben White genuinely does a job. I think he does a job. Let's move into midfield. My holding midfielders will be Rice and Basuma. Who wants to argue about that?
I'm not sure about that.
Who wants to argue about that?
I'm not sure.
Who wants to argue about that?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure?
No, I'm just not. I'm just unsure. Why would you play 2 of them together?
Because in the 10, now this is where it gets a bit ugly. Now in the 10, it really depends who your manager is. And this is a coin flip between, I'll take Maddison if it's the first half of the season. But if I want a whole season performance, I'll go Odegaard. And I'll put Odegaard in there, right? On the right, I'll take Saka. All right. I see everybody stressed. I'll take Saka. On the left, I'm taking Son.
That's fair.
You like?
Yeah, I mean, Martinelli, Son, thanks. It's no argument.
Up front, I'm taking Dominic. You're not putting Havertz up front.
No, I think I would agree. Yeah.
So there we've got 2... Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think I've got 5 Spurs players there. And that is, I would have, first half of the season, I'm having Maddison in the 10. And then second half of the season, I'm putting up Odegaard. And then I'm putting Odegaard in the 10 for the second half of the season. So do you see what I mean when I say that Spurs team is actually, they've got a good side?
Yeah, but so is ours, but we're shit. So, when
you say ours, you're talking about Chelsea.
Chelsea, we've got so many individual good players, mate.
We're not having that conversation.
What, you don't think we've got individual talent?
I think you got a few.
Exactly, we've got a fair few.
You got a few, but Palmer's the only one that gets into that combined 11.
What? So you're choosing Basuma over Enzo Fernandez?
Yeah.
Or Casado?
Maybe okay. I might be able to concede.
You're choosing Pedro Porro over Reece James.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That unfortunately for you, mate, is a banker.
Are you choosing Pedro Porro over Malo Gusto? No, you're fucking not.
That's a coin flip.
You're not.
That's a coin flip. Yeah, I might.
And you're also probably not choosing Ben White at left back over Cucurella.
After the song that he sang, never. He's going to get booed in every Premier League stadium.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be
for that tune, he deserves it.
Yeah, he's going to have a rough season. He's going to be unreal, though. He's going to hate playing the whole season.
I don't think he's going to be that good.
No, he's going to have a.
You think he's cooking this season?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's going to be on it because
why haven't you signed Ivan?
I don't know, man. Sign Pedro Neto instead.
Well, it looks like João Felix might be coming your way now.
What the fuck is that about?
It's the sorry side. I don't know what's going on.
Todd Bowley's a fucking head case, isn't he?
He is. Cool. Should we wrap it up there,
Yeah, I think we do need Chip back, to be honest, mate.
Really? Has it been that
I think
bad?
we do. I think we just need his bullshit.
Sometimes, yeah.
I wonder if he's got any stories from a trip.
He did. I texted him and he decided to reply to me.
Yeah.
And he said, I've got so many pod stories, bro. And so I'm very excited to hear that.
He hasn't posted anything on social media. Like, nothing big's happened, as we said.
Yeah. Yeah, no Instagram pics.
Yeah. I said to him, I've been loving following his stories. He posted none.
0.
And he'd been away for 2 weeks. Nice road trip of America. Had posted fuck all.
Nothing I can get
Bro's
behind.
The most inactive social media user ever.
The worst. Where are your TikToks,
You've been up in your stories, I've been seeing.
Come on, bro. You know the
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm making a connection with the people because I'm running a marathon.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm running a marathon.
I'm excited for that.
I will run that marathon.
No, you will.
I'm going to.
And you're going to do it in sub 4 hours. I know you are.
Well, relax.
You actually might beat my time.
No way. Bro, trust me, when I run, it's crazy, you know. I feel like my heart's going to come out my chest. Anyways, let's save that convo for another one because I'll deep dive my marathon chat for another time. Anyways, guys, I want you all to take it easy. All right? There's been a lot of information. I've blessed you with a lot of knowledge today. And unfortunately, Proddy's mic was working, but that's okay. Because
can I apologise to the triathletes that have spent years of life dedicating themselves to their sport?
You're not going to sleep after that comment.
I just, you know what? I came at you for your half marathon comment, but I feel like I've just...
Guys, thank you very much for listening to this week's Fellas episode. We'll be back with regular scheduling with Chippo Crimes. We've got a fantastic guest coming on next week, assuming he doesn't cancel on us for the 3rd time. I'm very excited, guys. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.